a bit better for Daniel there. He has 2 lands at least. He's probably going to keep it. Gabe has nothing, though.
Well, he's got the planes. He's got the Dauntless Bodyguard. That seems like a strong opening at this point.
Well, he decided to keep anyway.
Yeah, Scry 1 to the bottom.
And a Terramander. No, that's the...
That is not Terramander.
That's a Merfolk Trickster, isn't it?
No, that's not Merfolk Trickster. That's Mistcloaked Herald.
Oh, okay. And the Bodyguard.
Alright, that's Curious Obsession. Going on the Mistcloaked Herald. Alright, so we've got straight aggro coming out the gate from Daniel's side. And Gabe's just got to respond.
Gabe didn't hit his second land, though, so...
Yeah, so he just goes in for the 3 points, or the 2 points with the Dauntless Bodyguard.
And drops another one.
Yeah.
This is going to be...
The fun thing about aggro is it can operate on a generally pretty low curve, so even if you miss a couple of drops, you can still probably compensate.
Yeah, it's just... The thing is, like I said, Standard does have a smaller card pool to pick from, so sometimes a cheaper option usually isn't always the best option.
I don't know. Dauntless Bodyguard is one of those really strong picks from Dominaria.
Obviously, I can sort of see why he would keep a 1-land hand if he had 2 of those in his opening.
Yeah. And it looks like we've just had our first judge call outside. So it looks like we've got our Mistcloaked Herald with his turn 2 Curious Obsession, pretty much GG. Yeah.
Let's...
Information addressed at Spring 1. Alright. Let's see how things are going to go from here.
Well, Gabe got his second land drop.
But will it be enough to pull back and create the inevitability required? Alright, he goes in. Ready to swing in for the 4.
Alright.
So we've got Knights and Merfolk just beating each other up relentlessly. Here comes the second land drop and Hunted Witness. Do we have our response?
I think if Fournier's might have some tough choices to make come sideboard. If Gabe doesn't pull out any blue, he might get the wrong idea about what he's up against.
That's entirely possible. Mono white aggro tends to splash quite a bit just because that extra availability for certain Azorius spells. Yeah, it's... I mean, being able to throw negate into your aggro deck's always pretty nice. Oh, Merfolk Trickster comes down and taps down Hunted Witness. Uh-oh. Second Curious Obsession on the Mistcloaked Herald.
Okay, this is
What? Curious Obsession. Curious Obsession. Yeah. Yeah, so that Herald is going to be drawing lots and lots of extra cards every time it hits. Yep. Oh.
I mean, this kind of puts Gabe
what is this, like a standard Boggles deck that we've got going on here? It can't be blocked and it's just drawing extra cards.
It can be blocked. Oh.
Look at that.
I guess, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. We're looking at a pretty gross card advantage on Daniel's side. I'm not too sure how Gabe's going to play this one out. is pretty much... He's kind of forced to put on a lot of pressure on his end. So he's just going to swing heavy into towards Daniel, but I don't know how this is going to play out.
Yeah, Gabe's just going for that reach as much as he can, but...
Try and get in as much as he can. Well, he can.
Daniel goes for the opt. And swings in.
All right, so...
Piling on extra damage and drawing extra cards.
Wow. It's, And there's the Pteramander.
Yep, Pteramander. And, it is entirely possible that, ooh, here comes another Herald. Yeah,
Yep.
This is a pretty overwhelming board position at this point.
This all comes down to this turn for Gabe. If he can't really come up with an answer for anything, he's...
And checking in a Twitch chat, it looks like viewers suspects that, Dressed Spring one, suspects that Daniel might be sitting on Wizard's Retort, which would be... Oof, that would just be devastating at this point, I would think.
Yep.
Because if he can just wall out whatever comes down next, then he's pretty much got the game wrapped up.
Yep.
Oh!
And I guess Gabe got a good enough read on it.
Yeah, so looks like he scooped, and we are going into game 2.
Let's see what Gabe pulls in. What's on his sideboard?
The Johnny Adversary of Tyrants.
All right.
Tocatli Honor Guard, that might...
He's kind of unsure.
Yeah, it's
baffling. 4 baffling ends, 4 honor guards, 4 negates, and 3 Ajani's.
Yeah, both of these decks are running 20 lands, so, I mean, even so, having so few drops over the course of a game was against a blue deck that just managed to get that mana advantage. It was just, there's no good way to read how to board against that.
Yeah.
Especially when you get so little information from the inevitable matchup. But I imagine, like, this is probably already, like, with a couple of firmly established archetypes, so trying to figure out where to go from here is probably pretty straightforward for our star players. Yeah.
Well, if you look at the, I don't know. We'll see how Daniel decides to play this.
Yeah.
I mean, he might just luck out again, have another turn 2 Curious Obsession into a win. That's admittedly kind of a really gross combo off of on a turn 2, but
I mean, it could just be that Gabe brings in Baffling End to deal with Mistcloak Herald. I mean, Herald can't be blocked, but it doesn't make it hexproof, right? So,
yeah, it's really up to Gabe to...
But yeah, speeding that Obsession right out the door in like the first 2 turns was just devastating.
Dropping another one.
Yeah. When it gets to a point where you're drawing like 3 cards a turn on an aggro deck and your opponent's struggling to keep up because they can't establish and stabilize a mana base, yeah, there's only one way that game's going to go.
We'll see how Gabe decides to play it, because he might just hope for a better opener for a hand. Maybe not choose to play the 1-land hand, even though it could afford a decent start.
Yep. All right, commentary. This is Michael O'Neill doing commentary for the Harry Tarantula Challenge Series for the Star City Games Invitational Qualifier, February 16th, 2019. You can visit our website at harryt.com or visit the web store at harryt.crystalcommerce.com for all of your gaming and Magic the Gathering needs. All right, we're about to begin Game 2.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Yep.
It'll be, who knows, maybe the game will be decided by mulliganing decisions.
Maybe. I mean,
I don't expect it, to be honest.
it's. I think with Gabe's deck, especially in this matchup, you kind of have to be really more critical of what you have in your opening hand, and try and go with a bit more of a safer bet, quote unquote.
All right, so let's see. We've got Legion's Landing. I see a Hallowed Fountain.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the only land drop in the hand.
Daniel's sitting on a one land hand. I don't see any of our curious obsessions. So.
Yeah, but he's also got Opt
Yep.
and the Herald. So. And Gabe goes for the Maul.
Yep.
Daniel decides to keep. I think.
Is he still? No.
Thinking about it.
I think he's done. He's done thinking about it.
All right, we are in Game 2 now. The deck matchup is Azorius aggro, I suppose white-blue aggro, or perhaps even just white aggro with a splash of blue, versus mono blue. Two of the more popular archetypes in the format right now, although I guess white aggro is kind of fringe at the moment, at today's table anyway. Right now we've had a very strong showing from Is It Drake's.
Is it a Drake? Yeah, I mean, those crackling drakes seem to be a crowd favorite when it comes to play.
Crackling and Enigma Drakes.
Yeah. So.
Alright, so.
Let's see what we got.
Okay, Sea Plains.
Yep.
There's Benelish Marshal, Unbreakable Formation, History of Benhilia, and Hallowed Fountain. It looks like overall stronger land base, but I don't think he has any plays to go right out the gate here. This might be difficult.
Yeah, that's a tough choice for Gabe.
Yeah, when every play starts at 3 and you've got 2 lands in hand.
Yeah.
Starting at 3 on an aggro deck is not fun.
No. Or not having a 1-drop, at least.
Yeah.
Or even a 2. And it looks like he mulligans down to 5. Wow.
Oh, this is going to put him quite behind. Down to 5 on the play?
Yeah, he's not going to have a lot left in his hand when he does actually decide to keep and play.
Just hopefully he gets the removal in place so that he doesn't have to deal with another obsessed Merfolk. Well, Mistcloak Terror.
Yep. And shuffle, shuffle, shuffle again. Wow.
As a friend of mine likes to say, grobble, grobble. Alright, so deck presented for cutting, and here we go. Down to 5.
Come on. Come on, Gabe. You can do it. I believe in you. No. Ouch. I guess you just have to keep it.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright.
Alright, we got... Is that Aspirant out the gate? Yeah, hold on.
Daniel plays his 1 land. Oh.
Yeah.
Gabe hit a 2nd land drop, so
Yep.
he's a bit lucky off that. And Daniel does an end of turn opt. Looks like
Yeah. So Snubhorn Sentry and Skymarcher Aspirant are now on the field. Aspirant swings in.
So, I mean, it looks like Gabe actually, with what limited options he had, he was able to... Yeah, never mind.
Terramander and Mist-Cloaked Herald have entered the battlefield.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gabe had an opportunity to really actually build up some board state early, but it looks like Daniel kind of caught up. I guess at this point we're just waiting for him to play 3 more ops to find his curious obsessions, and then...
Here comes Glacial Fortress and Benelish Marshal. Okay, Gabe does have the board presence, and he's swinging in.
Yeah, that... Daniel obviously doesn't block any of it, so brings him down to 14. I think that's sort of the thing about Gabe's deck as well, is that if given an opportunity, he can really run with it.
Yeah, he curved out at 3, so...
Yeah, and...
Alright, so Daniel's going in for the attack with the Terramander and the Mist-Cloaked Herald.
Thing is that no
Let's
matter...
see. And Tempest Jin enters the battlefield now. So Jin is currently sitting at 3-3.
Yeah, that's... it's kind of a trickier one. That means Gabe could lose some to some critical blocks right now if Gabe decides to swing in. So, problem is with aggro decks is that anytime you don't swing in, you kind of...
I was mistaken. 3-4.
3-4, okay. Well, I mean, that just makes it more...
Yeah, that's a very definite roadblock in the aggro plan there. So,
that's sort of the trickier part, too, is Gabe kind of has to... When you play an aggro deck and you can't be aggro, you kind of really can't do anything. In a lot of ways. Like...
I suppose. Alright, so what's he going for? Is it... Okay, main phase, Unbreakable Formation. So +1/+1 counters on all of his creatures, and they get indestructible until end of turn.
Okay, so
that's already... That's just a huge boost of momentum, and he's bringing the pressure down. Well, no, he's thinking about it, but...
He's unsure.
Oh, right. They have Vigilance as well.
Yeah, so... Blocks, nobody dies, and...
Yeah.
Right now...
down to 6.
Down to 6.
And that was a quick turnabout. Complete reversal of the situation.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the thing, too. Like, Daniel kind of got away with a lot last game, with Gabe Sang not having many options in his land base.
Yeah, getting locked out early on in the game really didn't do much for him. But, you know, at the moment, it looks like he's putting on a lot of pressure, and it looks like Daniel didn't get into the early Curious Obsession. So I don't know what he can really do to compensate at the moment, other than possibly chumping to save his life.
Yeah.
Or spending removal options.
Which he does.
Yeah, so we get dive... No, not dive. We have... Please.
Well, and Daniel decides to swing in. So... That puts Gabriel at 14. Gabriel also being down a creature.
Yeah, the Entrancing Melody took care of the Skymarcher Aspirant.
Alright, so...
There's definitely a lot of back and forth play going on here.
I guess that should be expected from a mono blue deck. There has to be some level of control. If you can't do it on the stack, you kind of are relegated to do it on the board.
And here comes Dauntless Bodyguard. Okay, let's see. Gabe goes in for the swing.
See how Daniel handles this. He obviously has to block.
Yeah, so he sends Mist-Cloaked Herald in front of Benelish Marshal. And here comes the Hallowed Fountain.
He's down to 4. That's...
Yeah, Daniel's definitely on the ropes this game.
Yeah, I guess...
That Unbreakable Formation was very ironically backbreaking.
Yeah, so This is thing is, this Gabe is just that 10 life ahead.
Yeah, 10 life ahead in an aggro matchup. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, so
Okay, considering the options here.
wow, he's really thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of thinking. Does he?
Here comes the Sky Marcher aspirant. Is he baiting?
I think he might be.
Is he baiting?
I can't really see what he has in his hand.
I'm just wondering whether or not he's trying to squeeze in some extra damage against the Dauntless Bodyguard there.
Maybe.
But Bodyguard's pretty clutch. Exclusion Mage. Oh! And Benelish Marshall is down for the count. Return to his hand. Okay, so Gabe untaps at this point. So he no longer has the inevitability of his board state. Okay, we've got Legion's Landing in hand and Benelish Marshall.
And he passes the turn.
No, he doesn't.
Oh. I
Yeah.
thought he did. It looked like he was...
Nope. Alright, here comes Benelish Marshall returning to the battlefield. But is it enough?
It's kind of tricky now because he has to decide if...
Well, right now the Sentry doesn't have its City's Blessing, so it is currently sitting on a 1-4. Okay, and Legion's Landing enters the battlefield, and here we go. We've got some lifelinking vampires.
Well, that makes things a little bit better for him, I guess. Even if he just does a chump block, he kind of saves himself a lot more life. Daniel seems very unsure how to take this.
How these next couple of turns go will probably decide the outcome of this game.
Isn't that how it always goes, though? Every turn kind of decides the outcome of a game.
Not every turn.
So,
All right.
there's some tough decisions here because they both have fairly strong board presence. Gabriel, much more. So, Daniel has to be very pick and choosy with what he does. Oh, and he puts the Curious Obsession on his Terramander.
And Terramander swings right through.
Yeah, and he...
Okay, so now he started applying pressure with Curious Obsession.
Yeah.
Took a long time for that obsession to build up, but...
He's bringing Gabe down, too, as well.
Yeah, well, Terramander is a flyer, so it's not like Gabe can just reflexively block it.
Yeah, but I mean, Gabe was ahead by 10 life points earlier. He's slowly coming into a more manageable life total. And Daniel decides to play the opt.
Yeah, don't forget that for each of these instants and sorceries, Terramander's adaptability comes down by 1 in cost.
Yeah.
Which is a very, very strong cost reduction for a creature.
All right. And looks like...
Surge Mare.
Yeah.
Surge Mare is now on the battlefield.
Yeah, so right now...
And Gabe has hit a pretty hard roadblock. I'm not sure that he can keep up the momentum that the early Unbreakable Formation managed to buy him.
It's that really tough point of decision making, though, because you play an aggro deck and you look at your opponent and he's down to 4 life and you think to yourself, this should be a lot easier sometimes. But Daniel seems to be pulling a lot out of his deck to keep pace with Gabe.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind that that old adage, the only life point that really matters is your last. I mean, in terms of scorekeeping, Gabe has obviously got the lead right now, but getting past that board state, that's just filled with all kinds of roadblocks that have generated way too much value just by being where they are.
Yeah. I mean,
and Daniel's also got the flyers. He's got the Tempest Jin, which is now sitting at 4/4, along with Terramander, whose ability has gone down to 4 for activation, by the way.
Yeah, so really this is kind of the turn for Gabe right now.
The inevitability is in Daniel's favor, unless Gabe can find a way to either remove one or both of those creatures, or just somehow bring out the Alpha Strike and deal the killing blow. All right.
Gabe seems to be deliberating.
All right, here comes another...
he has a City's Blessing.
Yep, City's Blessing is now active, so his Sentry is now a 3/4. Oh no, 4/4, sorry. Yes. Okay, and he is attacked, creating the Legion's Landing.
Yeah. I mean, Gabe does have that life linker, so he could just possibly keep himself out of harm's way.
I don't know if...
we got some particularly strategic blocks from Daniel here. Can't really decide if he wants to kill that.
Careful consideration of combat mathematics going on.
Yeah. And,
yeah, don't forget that all of these creatures are also being boosted by Benelish Marshall. So I guess, the Sentry's like a 5/5 now, actually.
Yeah,
That's pretty rough.
So...
all right. And is he committing the blocker?
Make a decision.
Don't. Oh god, it's like that Silent Hill pachinko machine. Hit the lever!
Right. Wow, so...
all right.
Oh, is he committed?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so... Sky Marcher and Exclusion Mage have been destroyed, along with the Sentry.
It brings Gabe up to 11.
Yeah, Daniel's sitting at 4 at the moment.
So... let's...
okay, up to 5, so... Tempest Jin is now sitting at 5/4. Okay, and Terramander gets his Adapt. Is that going to be enough to close it out? Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Daniel takes the game. I mean, Gabe mounted a very powerful offense, especially in the first few turns of the game, but he's up with that inevitability.
Yeah.
With 2 blue flyers that gradually get stronger over the course of the game, Daniel was bound to take the match.
Yeah, I think Gabe was trying really hard to keep that from happening. It's kind of becomes really apparent with Daniel's deck that the more turns he gets, the better off he becomes. And that really early game, heavy aggressive play from Gabe was really doing quite well. I mean, he brought Daniel down to 4.
Yeah, but just couldn't close that gap. He needed that extra little bit of reach that just didn't arrive in time.
Yeah, so... I guess that leaves us at the end of round 3.
Yeah, we've got about 17 minutes left on the clock. Not all the matches have resolved yet. So, we will be getting pairings soon, and we will see our next featured match very soon. This is Mike Neal with the Harry Tarantula, www.harryt.com, for the Harry Tarantula Challenge Series StarCityGames.com Invitational Qualifier for February 16th, 2019. You can visit the website at harryt.com or the web store at harryt.crystalcommerce.com for all of your Magic the Gathering and gaming needs.